biological nature as males and females, but I do think the message is reinforced socially.
I guess, where do you think it's reinforced socially for men to be physically abusive to women?
Okay, I was wondering if he was going to catch this, because as I said in part 7, I was the shit, because she pissed me off with what she was saying. And I was really kind of wondering if someone was going to actually catch it. And he obviously did. Where is it in society that you see this? The evidence of this, that this is a societal thing, across the board. Not the occasional dad, or mom or whatever. No, not the occasional, well, the story that was over here where you see this. And she did. She mentioned about seeing it in TV and movies. Those are TV and movies. Okay, so is Fast Furious, the reality? Is Aliens reality? I mean, so you saw it on fucking TV, some TV show or movie. And real life evidence, people. Real life.
Well, no, that's not what I said.
Well, he said in relationships. So he said some of these ideas are reinforced socially, and men are more physically abusive.
I mean, what I mean is like
And that's another thing. I gotta keep positive. That's another thing that I love. I have noticed when it comes to any of them, Stephen, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, the Hodge twins. I've noticed none of them get tongue-tied. None of them get stumped. Every liberal that they've talked with, debated with, what I really meant to say was, how is that interesting? So are we just better speakers than you? Are we more intelligent than you? I'm really curious, what is it that has us to where we don't get like seriously tongue-tied or seriously stumped or any of that, but yet Democrats across the fucking board, including dumbass, the savior fucking Obama and shit, tongue-tied. Clinton, tongue-tied. I watched plenty of interviews with Trump, and he just literally talks. He just straight up, hey, well, this, this, and he just talks. You don't get tongue-tied. He doesn't get stumped. He literally says what he fucking says. But I watch Democrats across the board, AOC, whatever the hell these bitches are called now and shit, Clinton, fucking Maxine Waters, all of them. All of them. So again, are we better prepared? Are we conservatives? Are we better prepared? Are we just better speakers? Are we more intelligent? What is it that y'all get stumped, but we don't? I'm really curious about that, because I've had many people tell me over the years, you're twisting my words. No, I'm literally just repeating what you said and then adding on to it with the evidence that I have to add on to it. That's all I'm doing. How am I twisting the exact words you just used? Now, here's the thing I used to do back in junior high school, and I actually still have that damn thing to this day. Mini cassette recorder that I have. It's sitting right there on my headboard in the room. Mini cassette recorder still works, the little miniature cassettes and shit. When I was in junior high school, because of the whole bullshit of so-and-so said, you said this, and so-and-so said that, well, Mark said this, and I was like, when I got that, I went and bought it myself at Radio Shack. And started carrying it with me because I wore a trench coat that I designed when I was helping out at this silk screening company that was in Ocean View. And I would carry it all the time in my pocket, all the time. And whenever it was a discussion of whenever it was a discussion of, well, so-and-so said, or, you know, I would reach in my pocket. I didn't pull it out, but I would reach in my pocket, hit record every single time. As a matter of fact, I do that now. I do that with telemarketers that call. I do that with if somebody tries to contact me and it's through an actual phone call, I actually will grab one of my tablets or something and pull up the recording app and hit record and have them on speaker and everything and record the entire conversation. If it is through text, I will sit there and be screenshotting the whole damn time and use that shit against everybody. Because I don't like people do, as I said, you want to know something, ask me. And pretty much I will tell you. When I say by pretty much is if a fucking troll comes up here, and as I said, the whole doxing thing and whatever and all that bullshit. I've already said straight out, I'm Mark. I'm in El Paso, Texas. You want to find me? It's pretty damn easy. But you want to confront me, you're not going to like, as I said, I'm not worried about somebody threatening me or any of that bullshit, whatever. So I rather stick to the facts. I love having conversations. I love open debates. I've been that way my entire life. Did debate a lot of times. When I was in college, loved debating against my fellow, of course, students, and of course, against the professors. Love debate. Love that. Love shutting the professors down. Fucking love that shit. Thinking just because you actually already have a degree and you're the one teaching the class that you're more intelligent than me, especially over a subject that I actually know. Nah, fuck you. I don't care. I don't care what well, I'm the one teaching the class. Doesn't mean that you know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway, back to the video.
This idea that it's acceptable for men to handle their problems with violence and physicality is,
again, who has literally said that it is acceptable to do that? I know we've seen movies and TV shows and all this other bullshit and everything else, but that it's acceptable to settle things with violence. The only time that you need to settle something with violence is if you're the one being bullied and you actually have to defend yourself. As far as bullying, seriously, if you're the one doing the bullying, then it's not acceptable. So where is she getting that?
Something that we see not only in solving interpersonal problems between other men, but in their relationships as well. We don't really teach people how to deal with their emotions and how to have healthy communication so that they can deal with these aspects of being human in a healthy way.
Yeah, I respect that. I would disagree there. I think young boys are physical in nature. I think that's separate, right? Because this is biology versus a behavior acting out violently toward another person. I think one is innate. I think one is something that's not sociological.
So you think it's innate to like beat people up at school? I think
that's not what he said.
I think young men are much more physical. I think young boys have much more, as you said, physical energy. And I think we sit them, for example, in a classroom for 8 hours a day, where young women tend to thrive, listening, verbally communicative, and young men get frustrated. I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching men how to, we hear it all the time now, exercising, how to physically express themselves, how to have proper outlets. I think it's a good thing. But then I also don't think that socially, I don't think we encourage men to be violent in toxic ways.
Well, I think that's, I disagree. I think that's everywhere in the media. So, and there's a lot of data.
What evidence?
There are a lot of socialized messages about violence. So,
that men should be violent.
Not that they should be violent, but that it is an acceptable way to handle your feelings.
Again, what evidence? What evidence? You cannot just say something like that and not back the fucking shit up. You just can't do that. Where is it acceptable to do that? Where is it said or shown that is, and as he pointed out, And considering most schools your teachers are female. So where is this that this is being taught? Who's teaching this?
Well, right now we're handling any disagreements through words and found a lot of common ground.
I mean, we could find it out, Steven. Let's go.
You don't want to go physically, because then the biology comes into play. Which brings us kind of in. So, what other aspects, I guess, of toxic masculinity? And again, I think the reason this is important, and I understand that you sympathize with it, I think you see this point of view, is that young men who've been vilified for what they are, right, for being men, and then it being referred to as toxic masculinity, then you end up with a rebound effect. Then you end up with the sexist second adolescence. We're seeing these results right now with young men who are afraid of relationships. What other aspects do you think that maybe we could improve with men and women as far as how we socialize them?
Well, I think that men are also, the way that we talk about relationships is often in a very entitled way. And you see this across the board with this idea that, if you're good to someone or if you're nice to someone, then they should like you and they should want to have sex with you. And I see this not just amongst men, by the way. I see this in a lot of different, it comes out in a lot of different ways in different communities. This entitlement to sex, entitlement to.
Okay, I can see if she was talking about like when my generation was growing up, not me personally, but yeah, that was a common thing because my friends spoke that way when we were in high school. So back in my day, in the 80s, there are a lot of movies and all that other stuff, as well as I've lived it, as I said, with my friends. In today's society, I really don't see where the hell she's saying that. I don't really see that in today's society. Considering we now have safe spaces and it's not even okay to be a guy now and everything. So where the fuck is she even saying that? Where again, she's literally just spouting out junk saying it's evidence from where? What evidence?
Relationships. Or feeling like, if nobody likes you, that is their problem. When really maybe you just aren't a likable person. Yeah.
That's why I lost all my friends in Montreal. But they're also socialists, so I don't really care. I agree with you on that. I think particularly this sort of alpha male fake pickup culture, I think is a real problem. And I wrote about it as a traditionalist, Christian conservative sort of complementarian about waiting until I was married. And I was raked through the mud by none other than Amy Schumer, no less, talking about how it was a terrible sort of antiquated view. For wanting to wait and expressing that I thought there were a lot of benefits to it, and that many people would actually probably do well to consider the same option. And a big part of that is obviously a big part of women's lib in the feminist movement, sexual liberation. So do you think that maybe it's gone too far that way? Because I think that exists quite a bit on the feminist side as well. The hypersexualization that you're kind of a failure if you don't act in a predatory way sexually.
It's funny because I just had this very conversation with an ex-girlfriend of mine from junior high and high school. We're still friends and everything. And she had asked, which I had mentioned a few years back, of why we broke up. And I wasn't a virgin. I had already had sexual things, I'm not going to get into the details of that, but as far as stuff that happened to me with anyway, as I said, I'm not going to get into that stuff. Older girl, and her seduction or whatever of me when I was a kid. So I had already known what sex was and all of that, and was, taught, and as far as her and other, girls and things like that and everything. So I was not a virgin. We were 17, 18, somewhere around that time, 16 or junior high and high school. So damn, wow, we've known each other for a very long time. Anyway, she was very promiscuous, very sexual, and kept trying to get me to have sex with her. We were always at her parents' house all the time. I loved her parents. Her mom was so awesome. Love that woman. God rest her soul, and just beautiful lady. She was a great woman. And so the girlfriend keeps trying to get me to have sex with her, keeps trying. And I'm like, will you stop? You know? And she's all like, well, it's not like, you're not a virgin or anything. And I'm like, which actually became this whole humiliation thing back then. There was this whole rumor running around and everything that Mark's the virgin and blah, 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 which I wasn't. But at the same time, it was like, well, how is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing? So what? But of course, I'm a guy and we're supposed to take it as an insult and stuff. But I eventually was like, no, this ain't a bad thing. Whatever. And so, I mean, as I said, she was constantly trying to get me to have sex with her. And I was like, will you stop? I was like, we're at your house. Oh, but it's my room. Cause she had like the whole attic, like the whole attic was her room, big house. And it's like, oh, they're not going to come up here, whatever. They respect my privacy and blah, blah, blah. And, and I was like, I understand that. I understand that your parents kind of have I mean, her dad was military. He was Navy, but it's like, I understand your parents. I didn't know these words at the time, but I'm using these words now, that her parents have a liberal view of, having the boy. Cause I would stay the night all the time. I would stay the weekends over there. During the summers and stuff, or during the weekends, as far as even during school, time, I would, because my mom, she was really cool. I love my mom. But would, be over there all the time. And it's like, mom's already gone to bed. She's already taken her meds. Her dad was out to sea, blah, blah, blah. Come on, we can have sex. And no. And it's like, why is that a problem for a guy to say no? Why? What? I don't understand. It's like, if I were the guy doing that to her, and she was the one going, no, say it, that would be almost rape. Not that not that she was actually, no. Ooh, there were plenty of times that she got physical, as in trying to take my clothes off and stuff. Oh, come on, you're just playing. You're not really saying no. Yes, I am saying no. So I'm trying to understand, so the whole feminist thing, he's literally telling her, obviously she must not have watched that interview. I have. Literally telling her, hey, I'm a Christian, blah, blah, blah. I believe in waiting until you're married, blah, 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 and all that. And Amy Schumer, fucking feminist, oh, no, oh, see, you don't have to be like that. And she's like, oh my God, really? Laci is like, oh my God, really? So yeah, so it's seriously, this group or organization of liberals, it's like they can't decide. One thing I've noticed about liberals is they walk the fence, is one of my sayings. Choose what side of the fence you want to be on. But they don't want to. They know the trick. If I choose this, I can get called out for it. If I choose this, I can get called out for it. But if I walk this line, I could just play both sides. They can't really call me out on anything because I was walking in the middle. No, choose a fucking side.
Right, like this idea that if you're not getting laid, there's something wrong with you because sex is so freely available now. So what?
This was back in the 80s. And yeah, as I said, that whole rumor and all that crap came out about me being a virgin, all because I wanted to wait. Even though I wasn't a virgin anymore, I don't know. I just wanted to just not even deal with that mess. And so I told her, I said, yeah, I broke up with you. And, she was like, well, I heard you broke up with me because you were having sex with all these girls and everything. And I was like, hold on a second. If I was all about sex and you were literally throwing yourself at me, why wasn't I accepting the sex? Why wasn't I taking the sex that you were throwing at me if I was out here having all this sex? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? That doesn't make any damn sense. And I was like, you remember who I broke up, as far as breaking up with you and started dating, right? I'm not going to give the name here, but it was like, you do know she was a virgin, right? So again, you know, if I cared about sex and all this other shit, why wasn't, and I was out here screwing all these girls and shit, why wasn't I having sex with you? And then I ended up actually in a relationship with a virgin that I was happy to be dating because she was a virgin. It just made no sense. Well, so and so told me that that's what was going on, and I was like, but everybody knew when I dated you, and everybody knew when I dated the other girl. So who were all these other girls that I was supposedly dating or having sex with? Everybody, this is not an ego thing, but it has partially to deal with my older brother and his reputation, you know, of beating the fuck out of everybody that, you know, he beat the shit out of everybody. As far as he never lost the fight. He wasn't out there trying to start fights. That's not what I mean. But people trying to jump him or whatever, my brother would beat the fuck out of everybody. And that, of course, then there's my family, not my dad, but my mom. Everybody knew my mom. Everyone knew my mom. So I told her, so I was like, if I was actually dating someone or out here sleeping around and all this other stuff, how is it that the only way that you found out was through some secret, you know, grapevine and shit? Everyone knew me. Everyone knew my family. If I was doing all this shit, why wouldn't it have been like everybody knowing about it? When I ended up dating the girl I ended up being engaged to in high school and everything at the time, everyone knew, right? Even though it was somebody who went to a different high school, I dated that girl deliberately because I wanted to date somebody that I didn't want to go to school with. I realized that was a rule. I was like, I ain't dating somebody I'm going to school with. I'm going to date a girl at another fucking school. Because another girl I was dating was completely fucking psycho and we were going to school together. So I was like, oh, hell no, I learned my lesson with that shit. I'm going to date a girl I ain't going to school with. And everybody knew about that. So, of course, she was like, well, it was just, you're right. There was no evidence of everything. And it was just all, you know, through secret channels and shit. No evidence of anything. But yeah, these people were talking, you know, all this shit about you and everything. So I reminded her just the other day. I said, but that's why I broke things off with you, is I was valuing not having sex. And you kept pushing and pushing and pushing as far as, you know, having sex with you. And I was like, no. And that's why I broke up with you. I was like, no, I didn't. I mean, even now in my adult life, and I'm getting off subject again. Oh my God. Sex is a spiritual thing for me. As far as I don't need to be going, I'm in the whole lifestyle and all that shit. You know, the whole swinger lifestyle and all that stuff and everything. But I don't really do it. The lifestyle is for the lifestyle. It has nothing to do with going out here and going to my friend's club and everything and stuff, you know, and just screwing all these women and everything, you know, because that's what that's what my ex-wife is trying to tell people, you know, oh, he was cheating on me and he was doing all this other stuff. And I was like, I actually had girlfriends that you told me to have because I was too loving and too smothering to you and everything that I need to get a girlfriend. I dilute my affections towards you and everything, you know. So, and I still own, but it was the number one at the time before I fully basically retired, the number one karaoke company, DJ company in El Paso, more shows than anyone else, period. And so everybody knew who I was. Everybody knew I was married. So it's not like I was keeping shit secret or anything. There was no point in that. And then, as I said, my friend owns the fucking sex club out here. So again, not some big ass secret and whatever and shit. But the thing is, she got rid of, the ex-wife got rid of all the friends that we had, all the mutual friends, and got new friends that she could fucking lie to. Oh yeah, he cheated on me and he was so bad and everything else. And I've asked people I've run into, if I was so bad, why did she dump all the mutual friends that we had? Like, it's not, and I don't mean, because, they all took my side. So yeah, she dumped them because they all took my side. No, she dumped them because they realized she was out there spreading fucking lies and they called her out on it. At that point, she was like, because I'm getting phone calls and text messages and emails and Facebook messages. Cindy deleted us and all this other shit. And I was like, well, she fucking left. The bitch abandoned me, abandoned the house. She just fucking left, And it's like, but why would she like dump the friendships and things? And I found out why. One of the friends went and confronted her. And when she called her out on her bullshit that she was saying, that's when it was one of those, we're done as friends, get out, go away. And that's when she started deleting all the mutual friends, because none of our mutual friends and family were going to accept her fucking running around telling lies. Because everybody was like, whoa, she's out here telling all this fucking lying shit. And we were there, and so they started, as I said, calling her out. Yo, bitch, that ain't what happened. We were fucking there. And she dumped all the friends that were mutual friends so she can get new friends so she can lie to all of them. So, as I said, I've always been this way my whole life. I've dated plenty of women who want to do things and be sexual and all this other shit. And it's one of those, look, if it's not meaningful, if there's like no substance behind it, I ain't doing anything with you. I've been that way my whole life. It's like, oh my God, I've dealt with it my whole, as far as teenage to present life, I keep hearing that you're out here all fucking all these girls and everything. Where are all these? It's funny, like, I told people that, Cindy said you were cheating on her and you had all these fucking girls and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that she abandoned, right? She left. I have the house. And then, of course, I filed for divorce and I got the house and all that. But it was one of those, if I had all these women, where are they? I am a bachelor with my own fucking house. Where are all these women? Have y'all seen me out? I mean, I literally wasn't going out. I actually left town. Just packed up my shit and I told my friend who was here helping me out, I was like, you know what? You basically got the house. I'm gone. Where are you going? I don't know. I'm just out. So again, I was like, where are all these women? If I have all these women, where are they? She said, yeah, the bitch fucking lied to you. She's been lying to y'all this whole time. Shit, my friends in high school used to get on me about why I had girlfriends instead of just fucking them and dumping them like they were doing. Mark, why do you actually date these bitches? Why do you actually act bachelor pads? And so they had, as I said, we had bachelor pads, bunch of guys living together and shit. So yeah, girls were coming over all the time because we were throwing parties all the fucking time. The crew, we were throwing parties all the fucking time. And I still had girlfriends. Man, Mark, fuck, man, you kind of, some ways you kind of mess up our groove and shit. And I was like, yeah, but that's why my girlfriend's not here when we're actually partying. Because I don't want her getting involved in all this dumb shit that y'all are fucking doing. Because my girlfriend was also the girlfriend I had at that time also was a virgin. Loved it that she was a virgin. I was like, I ain't gonna mess with her. I don't have to worry about no pressure or nothing. Great. Man, I can't believe it. She's a virgin? Man, what? Why? Why? Because I value the relationship. I value a real sexual relationship. And I've got no problem waiting. I want to marry her. Man, yeah. See, so yeah, boys are boys. But to make it to where it's a societal thing, it's not society. It's, I don't think my friends, as far as the way that they were, had anything to do with fucking society at all. It just, these were boys. I don't remember anybody sitting us down and, you know, Van Wilder and pulling up the fucking book of being a guy and shit. And all right, let me show you guys the magic book of men. And nobody fucking did that. My guy friends were just fucking guys. They were fucktards. They were dumbasses. They were guys. And I just wasn't going to be that way. I wasn't going to be some fucking typical led by my penis and all this other crap and shit. That's not the way I've ever been. Oh my God, I got to cut this one short so I can actually get to the next one. Oh my God.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that this would, you know, would get further through and everything. But as I said, she keeps saying stuff. She does. She keeps saying shit that doesn't make any sense. And I gotta say something. I gotta call her out on her bullshit. It's like, you truly can't believe this shit, right? Where are you getting this? Well, I saw on a TV show, or I heard somewhere. Through what, your other feminists that hate men? That's where you heard it? Those bitches are fucking lying anyway. It's funny. Real quick. Lesbian former friend. Not pretty at all. Big fat. Not that this has to do anything to do with anything. I love curvy women. Love curvy women. But just big and fat, ugly. And for some reason, we get the hottest fucking girlfriends. And we were good friends. We were actually really, really good friends. Our family's really good friends. Until all of a sudden she started like liking some of the girls, same girls, as I said, because being a wife, swingers, all that other stuff. So she didn't like the fact that we were swingers and that, you know, I had girlfriends and could date and go, you know, and all that. Like all of a sudden now she didn't believe in marriage, but all of a sudden wanted like marriage rule. You're married, so you shouldn't be. And Cindy would tell her, hey, we're in this lifestyle together. He ain't controlling me. He ain't abusing me. He ain't mind controlling me. We're in this together. So shut the fuck up. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It's not like he's keeping the marriage a secret. You know, everybody knows we're fucking married. I'm sitting right here with him. You know, but all of a sudden liking the same girls, and here she is talking about how much of a dog I am. And then I'd find out like a week or two later how she basically got with this girl, fucked her over. And I'm like, whoa, you literally just did what you say men do. You just did the same shit. But you're what, mentally thinking it's different because you're a fucking woman? And I started noticing a lot of the lesbians acting way worse. I had an ex-girlfriend that ended up becoming a lesbian for a while. Not because of me, but because of her ex-husband or some bullshit or whatever. One of the things I loved about her was she was a strong woman. That's one of the things I liked about her. As I said in one of my previous videos, that my mom was like, don't bring any weak-ass bitches in my home because of the way she was raised. Strong woman. So don't bring any weak-ass princess bitches in my home. She better know how to fight. She better know how to shoot. She better be a warrior right beside my son instead of behind my son. You know, and I loved how she was a absolutely gorgeous girl. Well, I broke up with her because she partied. We were all adults now. and she partied way too much, drank way too much, you know, and everything. And I was like, I can't, that's not me. I can't do that. I sure as hell I'm not going to, you know, date or marry or be with anybody that's like that. That's not me. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm not going to do any of that dumb shit. And I don't want to be with somebody who does. Oh, come on. We're still young. We're just getting drunk. Come on. And I'm like, you know, that's you. You do that. And I ended up breaking up with her and everything. And then she ended up marrying some asshole. She tried to blame me. Now, mind you, the wife was like, Mark, you're allowed to have girlfriends. I'm letting you have girlfriends and all that other stuff. We're in the lifestyle, all that other shit and everything. Why are you breaking up with these girls? And I'm like, I still have my own morals. I don't drink. I don't smoke. She's out here getting fucking drunk and everything else and stuff. And if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, I don't want to be worried. I'm not out there drinking with her because I'm not going to be around that shit. So she's out there partying and getting drunk and possibly can end up in a situation and get hurt or raped or something like that. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm in a relationship with her. I'm just going to break things off because I don't want to worry about that shit. And she ended up getting married to a fucking jerk, an abusive jerk, and tried blaming me for that because I didn't date her anymore. No, you made a choice. That has nothing to do with me. You already knew why I broke up with you. And if you couldn't stop then, but you stop now because you're with an abusive man that controls every fucking thing you do, I wasn't about to do that to you. I'm not going to be with somebody I have to treat like a fucking dog and, you know, control them and shit. That's no. So after that marriage or after that relationship, she ends up becoming a lesbian. That after her marriage, she ends up becoming a lesbian and ends up in a relationship. This was in public, at the bar, at one of my karaoke shows. As a matter of fact, when I worked for another company before starting mine. And this girlfriend of hers had her get on all fours on the dance floor in front of everybody and basically like kiss her, basically treated her like a fucking dog. Sit, beg, roll over. If it was a male, I should have actually still done something even though it was a female, regardless, whatever. Because it's still abuse, regardless. So I should have fucking said something anyway. Which I did say something. But my something was to her like, you would never let a man, even though the ex-husband abused her too. But it's like, but here, you would never let a man treat you like this. But all of a sudden, because you're a fucking lesbian, you let a woman treat you literally like a fucking dog. I was like, well, then after she ended that relationship with her, I ran into her some months or a year after that at another one of my shows, So yeah, this was years later. And she tried blaming me for that relationship too. I was like, why are you blaming me for all your failed relationships? Because I stopped seeing you. Just because I stopped seeing you has nothing to do with you having failed relationships. She ain't the only one. Oh my God, I can name a whole bunch of fucking stories of women trying to blame me because, you know, their husbands didn't treat them the way that I treated them. Well, why the fuck did you marry them then? Well, Mark, you sing and dance and all this stuff, and the guy I married doesn't sing or dance, and that's my fault? Did he force you to marry him? Well, no. Well, then why'd you marry somebody that didn't sing or dance? Or it's just, oh man, the world has just gotten really stupid. And again, I keep getting off damn subject. All right, on to part 9. Oh my God, I keep getting off subject.